Hi, welcome back to Roojai Online Insurance, and today we're gonna talk with you about policy limit or sum insured. So what is sum insured or policy limit? Sum insured or policy limit is the maximum amount your insurance company will pay out to cover an insurance claim. And this limit is determined in your insurance policy and can vary depending on the type of coverage you choose to buy. How is sum insurance calculated? The sum insured is calculated depending on the insurance policy you are considering purchasing. In case of health insurance, the sum insured may be determined based on factors such as the insured person's age, health status, pre-existing conditions, and medical history, as well as the specific coverage option selected. In car insurance, the sum insured is calculated based on the model and brand of your vehicle, the estimated cost of car repair, spare parts cost and availability, driver profile, and much more. Why do policy limits matter? Sum insured or policy limits matter for several reasons. The first one is protection. Policy limits give you financial security in case an unfortunate event occurs that is covered in your policy. Instead, your insurance company is responsible for paying out your claim. The second is affordability. Policy limits also affect the affordability of insurance premiums. Higher policy limits result in higher insurance premiums, and respectively, lower policy limits are more affordable. The third one is compliance. Policy limits are often mandated by law or regulation. For example, drivers are required to purchase minimum liability insurance coverage for bodily injury and property damage. The fourth one is risk management. The policy limits are adjusted by underwriters based on assessing the risk associated with a particular policyholder or type of policy. What policy limits should I have? Well, it's important to choose insurance policy limit for your insurance policy depending on your circumstances. You should consider the length of insurance coverage, covered events, and limits per each event. For example, you should consider your age, risk, pre-existing conditions, medical history, and lifestyle before purchasing a cancer insurance policy. So, if you are a middle-aged woman with a family cancer history, you are at a higher risk. Unfortunately, cancer treatments like chemotherapy or prescription drugs and medical expenses are costly, so you should choose a higher sum insured. Are you still insured if you are over the limit? So, over the limit means that your insurance claim exceeds the conditions covered in your insurance policy. For example, if you are engaged in illegal activities such as driving under influence of alcohol or drugs, and an accident occurred, insurance companies usually will decline your insurance claim. What are the different types of policy limits in insurance? So, there are 4 common types of policy limits. The first one is liability limits. Liability limits are the maximum amounts that an insurance policy will pay out for a covered insurance claim if you are at fault in an accident. So the liability limit is written in numbers. For example, 400,000 Thai baht, 1 million Thai baht. Maximum coverage of damages to your car would be 400,000 Thai baht, while bodily injury is covered up to 1 million Thai baht. The second is deductible limits. Deductible or insurance excess is the amount that you are responsible for paying out of pocket before your insurance policy begins to cover the remaining costs. For example, if you have a 1,000 Thai baht deductible on your auto insurance policy and you have 5,000 Thai baht in damages from an accident, you would pay the 1,000 Thai baht first and your insurance company would cover the remaining 4,000 Thai baht. The third one, aggregate limits. Aggregate limit is a maximum amount that an insurance policy will pay out over a specific period of time, And for example, if you have a liability insurance policy with an aggregate limit of 1 million Thai baht, this means that the policy will pay up to 1 million Thai baht in claims over the whole policy period, regardless of the number of claims made. Fourth, occurrence limits. Occurrence limits refer to the maximum amount that your insurance company will pay out for a single insured event. For example, if you have a car insurance policy with a bodily injury liability of 1 million Thai baht per person per accident occurred, this means that the insurance company will pay out up to 1 million Thai baht for every single incident or occurrence. How is the sum insured differently from the sum assured? So, sum insured is a term that is used in health insurance, in car insurance, property insurance, in the event of a covered loss or claim. The sum insured is determined before you purchase an insurance policy. On the other hand, sum assured is used in life insurance policies. It is the amount of money that the insurance broker guarantees to pay out to the beneficiaries in the event of policyholder's death. The sum assured is agreed upon at the time you buy your life insurance policy. The amount is determined based on factors such as policyholder's age, health status, and income. Hopefully, this video was helpful for you, and see you next time. Bye bye!